Good day everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Wysol and today I'm going to be talking about things that you can do to increase your connection to spirit. So what I mean by increasing your connection to spirit is either increasing your connection to your higher self or increasing your connection to other spirits, so different forms of consciousness. Okay, so I've got three things for you. I'm going to be talking about the first one. The first one's going to be kind of movement, so exercise. The second one we'll talk about meditation, and the last one we're going to talk about diet. So the first one is movement, so exercise. Any form of exercise is going to help you connect to spirit. Okay, your physical body is, you could call it a mirror of your astral body. Okay, so when you look after your physical body, you're looking after your astral body. All right. So different forms of exercise that you can do to help increase your energy, which is then therefore going to increase your connection to spirit. Okay, so exercises that I do are calisthenics, and yoga. So calisthenics is body weight exercises that you can then transition into adding weight to your body, like a weight vest, weights on your legs, stuff like that. Again, any form of exercise, okay? You can do weight training with weights if you want to. Any exercise that you prefer to do. I do recommend calisthenics for its functionality. But again, if you want to, you can do weight training because you can't really do much leg exercises that are going to be strenuous for your legs without extra weight. Obviously you can do loads of running if you wanted to, or loads of jumping, stair running. There's a lot of things that you can do for exercise without weights and without the gym. Okay. Next thing, I've got a little list here just in case I kind of go off track. So sorry if I do look down. I'm just looking at my little list. All right. So I spoke about yoga. Different forms of yoga. You can do all different forms of yoga if you wanted to. You can do Kriya yoga. You can do Kundalini yoga. You can, I think it's called Hatha yoga. Any form of yoga. Any form of yoga. If you don't even want to do yoga, just do conscious stretching. Just stretch out the muscles that are tight. Maybe you've been sitting down for long. You have muscles that need stretching out. Every single person that has lived through the society that we live in has tight muscles somewhere. If you have back pain, this is a little bit of advice. If you've got any lower back pain, that is most likely due to your legs or your ass. Yes, your lower back, you can actually, again, this is for anyone that has lower back pain. You can feel, you can literally just like feel where your lower back is. Your lower back, if you feel it, it's actually lower than your glutes. So your lower back goes at about where my finger is, and your glutes raise up to here. You can actually feel, if you put your hand on your butt, you can feel where that bone is, that platey bone that goes up, yeah, on your butt cheek. You can feel it, that plate, the bone, and the glute muscle is actually higher than the lower back or the lower part of the spine. So if you have a bad back or bad lower back, work on your glutes, so your bum, and your leg muscles, especially predominantly the back of your legs, so your hamstrings and your calves. Okay, that's just a little bit of advice from PT. I used to be a PT, I don't PT anymore. Alright, Kundalini Yoga. I mentioned Kundalini Yoga. So Kundalini Yoga is a combination of mantras, movement, and breath work, sorry. So it essentially combines three forms of conscious practice in one. So that is what Kundalini Yoga is. It is movement, mantras, and breath work. Okay, different forms of breath work. So like breath of fire is a predominant one in Kundalini Yoga. Holding breaths. I've done Kundalini Yoga where they don't hold breaths as well. I forgot her name on YouTube. There is a woman on YouTube that is known for that does Kundalini Yoga videos. She's what I started with. I forgot her name. I'll probably try to put it in the video after I finish recording this video. But you can also do something called Kunda Yoga. Kunda Yoga is Kundalini Yoga. It's just a more of a black magician's term of Kundalini Yoga with a slightly different intention for it. I would research Kunda Yoga instead of Kundalini Yoga. It is a more occultist term, and it does come from Aramaic traditions. So for example, I'll just quickly show you Black Magic with Araman. Kunda Yoga is in this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this quickly, but I'll see if I can find what it mentions about Kunda Yoga. There we go, 160. Foundations of practice. Kunda Yoga or Kundalini Yoga. Kunda Yoga. According to Zoroastrian religious tradition, it is assumed that by the number of breaths one takes in a lifetime is dictated ahead of time by nature. They call this concept doom. According to their religion, it is considered unlawful to practice techniques such as pranayama because one is potentially extending their life by taking in unlawful amounts of prana or chi energy. Okay, this is why the Christian church doesn't like people meditating or doing yoga and stuff, because of Zoroastrian doctrines. Alright, so next part we're going on to is meditation. So we've done the movement, and then we need to be still. Although within meditation you are never still because you're always moving, you're always vibrating, but you're trying to be as still as possible, calming the mind through meditation. Meditation, I'm going to bracket into two different things. So meditation and astral projection. Meditation is obviously going to connect you to your higher self, and it's going to allow you to connect to spirits because you're quieting the mind so you can hear other sounds or the high screeching sounds that you may get in your ears. So meditation will allow you to connect to these. This is a very obvious one. I think if you're watching this video on how to connect to spirits, meditation is kind of the obvious thing. But that then leads to astral projection. So astral projection is you leaving your body and going to see or contact in the presence of the spirits. Okay? So that is obviously more advanced than meditation, and you need to do a form of meditation to do astral projection. So you quiet the mind, do a form of breath work while simultaneously focus on getting out of your body while your body is laying down. Okay, there are a few different ways, techniques for astral projection, things like imagining that you're a random object, so you can literally think of a random object that comes to your mind now, and try to imagine that you are the object. Another one that you can do is breathing yourself out. So when you're doing the breath work, imagine that you're breathing your soul out as you breathe out. And then another one that you can try is the one that I mentioned at the start, is either you're laying down or sitting down and you focus on kind of pulling or getting up, standing up while you're sitting down. Okay? So those are a few different methods that you can try for astral projection. The one that I've found to be the most potent for me would be the trying to get out of your body one. But again, everyone is different, so just try different ones for you. Okay? So the last bit I'm talking about is diet. Now, with diet, I'm not just talking about food or water or things that you're drinking or eating. Okay? I'm talking about what you're consuming with your 5 senses. Okay? So I'm going to talk about food at last because I'll talk about supplements with food. Supplements that you can take to increase your energetic conductivity, you could say. So I'll start with air first. So what air are you breathing? Do you have plants in your house? Do you smudge or sage or use incense prior to meditation? Incense and stuff prior to meditation can actually help you connect more potently. Okay, so depending on the incense, I personally use Dragon Blood's resin. You could use sage, you could use Palo Santo. There's a lot of different incenses you can use. You can use frankincense, you can use damargum, myrrh, rosemary. The list could literally go on for a very long time. So yeah, what air are you breathing? Do you have plants in your room? Do you go outside to meditate? Do you go out into nature to meditate, or are you just going into your back garden that's surrounded by an urban environment? Are you going to a park that's also surrounded by an urban environment? What sort of air or oxygen or prana are you breathing in? Okay, so that's the first sense. Well, it's not really a sense, it's more like what air are you breathing in? But sound, next up is sound. What are you listening to? Okay, this has a very important role on our subconscious. What we listen to gets programmed into us. Think of yourself like a computer, and the sound that you're listening to is like a program that you're installing. Okay? So each sounds, I did a video called Mantras, the metaphysics behind mantras and sounds. Different sounds stimulate different chakras. So when you do different mantras, some mantras you'll notice that are going like throat, root, sacral, throat, root, heart, and some you notice it is like root, sacral, heart, back to root, and then up to throat. You notice that all of these different mantras are intertwining different energies. Again, check out my video on metaphysics behind mantras. Essentially, different sounds intermingle different energies together, which then brings in those energies into your space, if you get what I mean. Okay? Because you are creating the energy internally. Okay? It's all internal, but then again you can perceive it, some things as external, but the external is also internal. Again, this, you're inside your body. You're a cell inside a cell, which is the earth. Every single person is a cell. Are they a healthy cell or are they an unhealthy cell? Are they a cancerous cell or are they a healthy cell? Are they a positive cell or a negative cell? Are they healing or destroying? Okay? Alright, sound. I've just spoke about sound like an idiot. So yeah, it's not even like mantras. Like who are you listening to? Like who are you allowing the energy to come into your life? For example, who are you watching on YouTube? Who are you watching on TV? What are you watching on TV? I like to always say, don't believe people. Become a Gnostic. A Gnostic is someone that knows from their own experience. This is why we talk about gnosis, my own experience behind something. Okay? Again, it's not just mantras or sounds. It isn't just sometimes the things you're watching. Your environment could produce sounds for you. What I mean is things like computers. I wasn't even going to mention computers, but some computers, if you leave your computer on, like I never leave my computer on at night because I can just hear it going. But even things like your outer environment, so your neighborhood, is it noisy? Are people very hectic around there? Mine is. So I actually use binaural beats quite a lot in meditation, just because at 2 o'clock in the morning or like 3 a.m. in the morning you might get some bloody crackhead screaming about some shit around my area. Okay? That's just, again, my personal area, so I have to do certain things to alleviate symptoms. Alright, next one is sight. What are you viewing? Your view, again, it's like sound. What you're seeing is being downloaded into you, but you're also simultaneously projecting your experience. This is where a lot of people get confused with spiritual topics, because they don't fully understand the concept of as above, so below, as within, so without. Everything is duality. Okay, you are projecting your experience and also simultaneously downloading your projection in a way. That is very confusing, because downloading your projection it's like you're creating it, but you're also absorbing it. So when you absorb things that you aren't creating, so you could say external circumstances, so other people, other places, those are what you could call external circumstances that you absorb but you're not necessarily projecting. That is a bit of a complicated one to talk about, the sight, because you could also talk about your third eye sight. What are you allowing to come into your vision? What are you allowing to come into your temple? Stuff like that. But that could be like a whole another video, the sight one. Alright, touch. Touch is, again, a little bit of a complicated one, because you don't think you're necessarily touching things all the time, but you are. Energy is surrounding you constantly. What energy are you feeling? What energy is in your presence? What energy are you touching? You don't necessarily have to grasp something to touch something, because you're touching things all the time. We only see 1% of what's here. There are probably a bunch of different particles in here that I'm touching all the time, okay? But you can also take this to another level of actual touching, okay? So for example, let's grab a crystal. I'm touching this crystal and I'm absorbing its energy, okay? You can touch a person and absorb their energy. You can touch, oh, what is it called? There's a name for this. Forgot what it's called. I'm not going to try and remember what it's called, because I do this in videos before and I end up taking ages. So yeah, you can touch things and take in information about it. So for example, if you touch something that belonged to something else, you could absorb that information of this. Okay, it's in that Star Wars game. It's in that semi-new Star Wars game, where he's touching things and he's reading what's happened with that object. I forgot what it's called. I'll probably put it down because it's in like that book there. I forgot what it's called, so I'll put it down here. But again, yeah, you can absorb energy through touch. You can literally touch trees, you can touch stones and tap into the Akashic records of that kind of structure or organism, okay? So that is touch. Again, you absorb energy all the time. Whether or not you are actually physically touching something, you are touching stuff, okay? Alright, lastly, food. Again, I left this for last because I'm going to include supplements in it that can increase your connection or your conductivity. And if you know about this sort of stuff already and you're just hearing me talk about conductivity, you may not know what I'm going to talk about at the end. Alright, food. So what food are you eating? Are you eating too much meat, maybe? So the reason that eating too much of animal products can be detrimental is because it makes your internal vibration less dense. So the healthier you eat, it's not just about meat, to be honest, it's just how healthy are you eating? Are you eating a variety of foods? Are you getting your macronutrients, so your protein, your fats, your carbs? A lot of people say like, avoid fats altogether. Ignore that, please ignore that. That is very unhealthy and that will ruin your body, okay? Your physiological body needs sustenance, specific sustenance. So it needs carbohydrates, it needs fats, it needs proteins. So do not eliminate fats from your diet, because fats are the most, yes, fuck carbs, fuck proteins, fats are used for organ protection and nutrient absorption. If you have no fats in your diet, you're not absorbing nutrients properly and you're not protecting your organs. That can be extremely detrimental to your health and it could potentially kill you. So don't drop fats out your diet, please. Yeah, what food are you eating? Okay, so are you just eating healthily? Are you consuming too much of kind of processed foods? GMO foods? GMO foods will diminish your connection to spirit. Are you eating organic? That will increase your connection, your receptivity to energy. Okay? It's all about attuning your receptivity to spirits or source, if you wanted to go that far. Alright, supplements. So I mentioned increasing your conductivity. Now there is a supplement called Ormus, which is monatomic gold. Gold is a superconductor. So when you consume monatomic forms of gold, you allow your nervous system to send electrical signals quicker. Literally, it feels like your brain's like, first time I took Ormus, my brain was like, you could feel it like sending signals. And there is a grimoire that I want to get. It's either Lucifuge, Rofocale, or Lucifer and Maimon. I think, what's his name? Curtis Joseph. Curtis Joseph wrote in one of those grimoires how to make a form of monatomic gold. There are obviously other ways of making monatomic gold, and other people have made monatomic gold, so you can check that out for yourself, or you can buy monatomic gold kind of elixirs. I started out with this. It's a pipette bottle. I'm going to say do not buy these. If you want to, you can do, but you can also just get, where is it? Oh, it's in my little thing. Excuse me, I've put a set of monatomic gold in my portable altar, and now I need to find my keys to unlock it. But what you do with monatomic gold is you literally mix like half a teaspoon with water, swish it around. You can charge it if you want, set an intention with it if you want to. I do recommend doing that all the time. But yeah, you can, yeah, set an intention with it. Charge it. I use a selenite little disc, so I place the bottle on here, and I just get like a selenite charge into my Ormus, which is cool. I do want to get a new bottle that I can put crystals in, so then I can place Ormus and the crystals in the bottle, which would be dope. But I'm still trying to find my keys. Sorry, 1 second. So Ormus is basically literally a white gold powder you can buy. Again, you can get it pre-made. It's a lot more expensive if you get it pre-made. Or you can get like tubs of the powder, which is what I recommend now. The first one I tried was a pre-made one. That lasts, they say take like 2 droplets of the Ormus with the pipette one. And now that I have my own powder, I'm drinking a whole bottle of the bloody thing a day. So that's why I recommend getting your own powder instead of the elixir thing. Just because you get way more out of it. Oh, it's open. Alright, Ormus. Obviously this isn't labelled. But this isn't even half the tub that I bought. It cost me 20 quid for about 3 of these. And it cost me £33 for this. So as you can tell, get powder instead of these. Again, they want you to take a droplet, like 2 droplets a day, where you can just drink a whole bottle in a day with your own powder. So that's why I recommend your own powder over buying the pre-made kind of elixir thing. But I do believe, no, that is not my video for today. I'm going to talk about crystals. So crystals, depending on the crystal, can allow you to connect to spirit more potently. Obviously different crystals are attuned to different energies, so I'll mention those as well. So I just held one crystal, I showed you one, and this one will be the other one. So celestite is good to connect to kind of angelic or light entities. Okay, I really like celestite. It just feels good to hold. It's one of like the only crystals that like I just generally like holding constantly. This and zircon, it's just got a good feeling about it. But then on the other hand, you have something like smoky quartz or obsidian, which can help you connect to kind of darker entities if you wanted to. So different crystals can, because of the coloration, which means that they're attuned to certain energies, can help you connect to certain spectrums of energy. These are also spirits themselves. Yes, these are elemental spirits. Crystals are elementals. Yeah. If you didn't know, now you know. But crystals are also spirits. And then you can connect to their spirit, you could say, through meditation / astral projection. Or you could actually... I've never done an evocation before, but I'm theorizing it through what I've researched. I'm due to get the universal circle like today, order it at least today. But I've been listening to E.O. Quetting talk about evoking material things like money, and he's had success with it. So I feel like you could evoke the energy out of a crystal. Might be something that I'm going to try once I get the universal circle. But that is it for today. So thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Peace out.